Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, Vigo's dad here. Welcome to another episode. Here I am in Marszałkowska Street in Warsaw, and I'm going to a museum that I've been wanting to check for a long time. It's a PRL museum, or the Museum of Poland during communism. I'll get the name correctly under here. But I've been meaning to check this museum for a long time because it basically showcased how life was in Poland during communistic times. So let's go inside. It should be very interesting. Dzień dobry. Otwarty? Tak? Jeden bilety, proszę. Dziękuję bardzo. So after 1952, the Red Army took over the rest of Poland. Because remember that during World War II, Poland was divided, the German-occupied side and the Soviet-occupied side. So after 1952, Poland became governed by a communist government, the People's Republic of Poland. And basically from 1952 all the way to 1989, it was ruled under heavy influence from the Soviet Union. Poland was never part of the Soviet Union, but it was, under the influence. Heavy influence. And the People's Republic of Poland, of course, created a reality for Polish people that this museum is trying to depict, is trying to showcase for people like me who did not live this, and then even for Polish nationals that want to relive the history or see how their parents or grandparents used to live. Surprisingly, many of the things that are here, although very far from the Dominican Republic, I have seen many things. Many of the things that I'm gonna see here probably have seen in my grandma's house. So this is a typical living room of a Polish house during the 60s, 70s, possibly 80s. This reminds me of one of our babcia's living room. I mean, not much has changed. Like, for sure, these tiles are very familiar to me. The sink is very familiar to me. Look how toilet paper used to look back then. It was like this recycled carton. What books we have here? Słownik języka polskiego. I mean, I don't know if I should touch things here. Kuchnia Polska. This is full-on 50s radio. It's a Philips. And let me see what are the stations that you could find. Paris, Hamburg, have here from Brussels or from Frankfurt. Look at this, there's a cassette, a Bon Jovi cassette. We're listening to Bon Jovi here in Poland, back in the 80s. Look at this lovely cartoons. So this kitchen is basically the kitchen of our babcia. To this day, this is literally just like babcia's stove. This is a calendar from 1985. Let's see, my birthday is December 18th. It was a Wednesday. Look at that. I just turned 4 years old. This is also part of my youth because my grandma was heavily into making clothes. She would make clothes for my mom and all my aunts and uncles. Here we can see some products of the everyday family basket, as they call it. Here we have vegetais, smacznego, vegetable stock. So this sign says something very interesting. That the people that were growing up in the communist Poland often didn't have any sweets, so they had to have a slice of bread with some butter and sugar, or a homemade mix of sugared yolk called kogel-mogel. I would like to try kogel-mogel. Look, it's Wedel. Does Wedel go so far back? Interesting. Café do Brasil. I would assume that for Polish people at the time, a product that says it comes from Brazil must have been very exotic. Just as for us, something from Poland, even to this day, is exotic, let alone back then. This mural is actually great because this is the mural fashion, and you can see how many of these things they just come back around. And now this is what the kids are wearing these days. This is something that fashion designers, stores like Zara would have today. Fashion and the patterns. I wonder isn't this the Maluch? It was also a very famous car in Poland called the Maluch of the time. But if I recall correctly, I think my father-in-law, his first car was a Polski Fiat. Oh, this is very interesting. I've actually talked about this on one of my videos. I'll try to find a link and put it up here. But this used to be like a vending machine for water. So they had this glass attached to a chain, and people would just have water. Woda sodowa czysta. For 5 złote, you could have water. The thing is that everyone was using the same glass. This is even my time, right? This is the 80s. So kids these days, anyone born after the year 2000 will never know. It has a sound, listen to it.
Było dużo sposobów. Zazwyczaj wykupywało się wycieczkę w orbisie i jechało.
What is it? SZS. Oh man, I would love to own some of those pins. Here we can see more things that look extremely vintage. Like, look at these blow dryers. Not only the shape, of course, everything very angular and square and all that, but it's like the colors also. You don't see these colors these days. What is that thing though? This is a Alpha K2 Freedom Zelmer vacuum cleaner. It's a vacuum cleaner of the time. The 60s were very like sci-fi, at least sci-fi for us. I do miss these things in products these days, the mechanical sounds. Oh kurde, it says no touch. I'm sorry. Przepraszam. And this would be kind of like a nursery of the times. Of course, the abacus. Does anyone on my channel knows how to do math or count using these things? Let me know in the comments. Apteka. All this is extremely familiar to me because my mom is a doctor. And in the 80s, things still look pretty similar to this. But look at this is great. This is how the kids used to carry the books. What is that? Because I know that these were here on an eraser, but what is this? So there's a group of students that just came to see the museum, which I find very nice, that they can come and see their history. Look at this quote. Every provocateur or madman who dares to lift his hand against the power of People's Poland will have that hand chopped off. Przepraszam, to jest bar mleczny, tak? Tak, mniej więcej. To tak, kawiarny. I tu jest bar mleczny, tak? No, super. Orężada, proszę? No, super. I to jest dobrze?
Bardzo.
Dobra.
To jest kakao.
Kakao, ale...
To jest...
Twoje ulubione?
Nie, to jest PRL.
PRL.
Tamte czasy.
Dobra. I'm gonna try the ice cream. Bardzo dobre. Super. No, bardzo dziękuję. Co to jest? To jest twoje?
Chcesz? Proszę.
Tak? Mogę? O, dziękuję bardzo. Do widzenia.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję bardzo, do widzenia. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. It was great going to that museum and seeing how Polish people used to live back in those decades. I really invite you to guys come and see it for yourself. If you like it, if you find it interesting, give it a thumbs up to this short video. See you guys soon.